Gric coin, increasing food product. Introducing the Gric coin vision is to create a decentralized open-source currency before the end of 2019 that is focused on improving agricultural practice and increased agricultural output globally with a major focus on Africa. Agricultural in Africa, with more than 60% of its 1.166 billion people living in rural areas, Africa's economy is inherently dependent on agriculture. More than 32% of the continent's gross domestic product comes from the sector. However, agricultural productivity still remains far from developed world standards. Over 90% of agriculture depends on rainfall, with no artificial irrigation aid. The techniques used to cultivate the soil are still far behind from what has been adopted in Asia and Americas, lacking not only irrigation, but also fertilizers, pesticides and access to high-yield seeds. Agriculture in Africa also experiences basic infrastructural problems such as access to markets and financing. Singapore is proving to be an engaged ally in the process of changing this reality. Some big players in the agricultural sector with their headquarters in Singapore are investing heavily in Africa. Technology and skills are being transferred to smallholder farmers, and the large-scale producers are cooperating, playing a fair game that will help develop the sector and make it more sustainable. Agriculture in Africa, an overview. In Africa, agriculture accounts for 2/3 of livelihoods and food accounts for 2/3 of the household budgets of poor people. It makes up a very important part of the lives of African people, but in spite of it, it apparently receives very little attention from the governments. The low productivity levels of agriculture in Africa have resulted in a worrisome scenario. It does not meet the growing demand for food from urban centers. The region is increasingly